Move over. Hello everyone, and welcome to that introduction, which was quite something. Today is going to be a little bit of a chill video of how I cope with having an autistic meltdown or shutdown. The two differences between them is meltdown, I usually it's hard for me to describe what I'm feeling in the moment, and that's the same with a shutdown, but I will tug on my hair and I can't breathe. It's similar to a panic attack, but it doesn't stop once I'm out of the situation. It continues because it built up, and now I'm tugging my hair and I'm overwhelmed. That's the type of stuff I do. They used to happen a lot more frequently when I was in school and I was masking a lot, but I wasn't officially diagnosed, and I thought I was just weaker than everyone else, or that everyone else was normal and I was weird and I didn't want to be an outlier, so I didn't talk about it. But yeah, and then shutdowns is when I kind of space out and dissociate from everything around me and I don't speak. And it kind of feels like being trapped in your own mind, but I can hear everything overwhelming me, and it's kind of like sleep paralysis is how I would describe it to someone who doesn't understand. So this week I actually had an autistic meltdown. I ripped out some of my hair and I ripped off my nails. Do not look at my nails, they are not pretty, and I picked at my face a lot. So let's not talk about that. It was building up. We might have to do a jump cut because this train is ruining my video. Okay, we're back with more items that I'm going to talk about how I use them for coping strategies. Sorry that the train derailed this video. That was bad. Wasn't it bad? Whatever, I'm keeping the joke in because it was funny to me and that's all that matters. But anyway, I had a meltdown this week because I've had a very difficult week. Socks, you can push in the door. I have to let my dog in the room because apparently this video is never getting finished. Okay, we're back with more items that I'm going to talk about how I use them for coping strategies. Sorry that the train derailed this video. That was bad. Wasn't it bad? Whatever, I'm keeping the joke in because it was funny to me and that's all that matters. But anyway, I had a meltdown this week because I've had a very difficult week. Socks, you can push in the door. I have to let my dog in the room because apparently this video is never getting finished. I'm back. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I had a meltdown this week because I had a very stressful week. Anaphylaxis, hospital, fell through the porch. I had my jump cut number whatever it is because I've lost count of how many times this video has been interrupted. At least I'm back to you. With my items I use for coping, except my journals. I journal aggressively because I just can't process my emotions in words. That's what I've been in therapy since I was 11. And that's always been really hard for me because they want you to say how you're feeling in words, but I could never, it only came to me once I thought about it or drew about it, I needed to like write it down so I have more time to process it, because words just don't come to me that easily. They really never have, but writing for some reason is different. I don't know. I feel like my brain goes too fast to make words out my mouth. But when I'm writing, I have to think about it before I put it on the paper. But when it just spews out of my mouth and it doesn't come out right. So writing's just always gone better for me. I started journaling more during COVID, and I don't know if you can see my dog sniffing the camera. I apologize. Why are you taking the blanket? Okay, so since my dog has made me jump cut for the millionth time again, I'm getting really ticked off, and this video is not going how I wanted it to. Here's all the journals I've completed. I'm not going to show you what's in them, but I've been journaling since 2020, and I have 5 journals here, and I'm starting a new one soon, and I don't journal about anything specific. It's more just like how I process my feelings, and it makes them make more sense in words and not out loud. And then I know how I'm feeling, and then I understand it better. Okay. That was loud. Next thing, I answer less words, because talking gets really hard when I'm in a shutdown or a meltdown. I feel like the words can't come out of my mouth, like they're trapped in my throat, and it's just so much effort to try and speak. It's like right before you fall asleep and you're like, I can't get the words out. So I will answer with like yes or no, or like head shakes, and I feel like that's a little rude, but like sometimes I just can't manage to answer the questions, especially like after doctor's appointments, because they can be really traumatic for me, because I have PTSD from medical trauma and stuff, and the medical system is a mess if you're a woman or neurodivergent or anything else besides a white cis male. The medical system is not for you. So it's really traumatic for me going there, and then that leads to shutdowns. My sister actually got me this pretty cool sweatshirt that says yes on one hand and no on the other, and then it has like a bunch of emotion faces on the chest, and you just point to what you're feeling, and that one's pretty helpful. And I can use it most of the time since I live in Maine and it's cold here almost all the time except summer. So yeah. Eating is another thing that can be hard after a shutdown or meltdown, because I just don't feel like I have the energy to do that, because it takes so much effort to make the food, and a lot of the times after a meltdown people's skills regress, which that happens to me as well. Like, you forget that you need to like clean the house, like take care of the kitty litter, or do the dishes, or feed yourself. You forget how to cook basic recipes. That's why I always like Google how to cook things, even if they're really simple things like an omelet that I've made a dozen times. I just like the repetitiveness of seeing the recipe, because it helps me make it the same exact way, the same time, every time. So I like when I'm in a meltdown, after, like, not during. I feel like you got that already. How many times are we gonna say that I was dancing to prevent myself from saying but you know, it just made it worse. I usually eat those little balanced snack breaks, which isn't enough to count as a meal, as my doctor and my mom tell me, because it's just almonds, cheese, and craisins. but it's good for a snack. And if I can't manage to eat, I should eat Orgain, which is a meal shake, and you just add it to the blender with juice, and you in the blender, and you can add fruit and stuff, but if it's too much of a hassle, just do a juice in it and it's fine. And if you can't do the blender at that point, I like this brand of smoothies that they come in like ice cube packages. So you just pop them out of the ice cube trays and into a glass of juice, and you leave it for like 30 minutes, and it melts in the juice, and then you have a smoothie, and you didn't even need a blender. So that's also helpful for getting your nutrition. I'm often malnourished for many reasons, because I have gastroparesis as well. I said again. Gastroparesis is a partially paralyzed stomach, so I don't digest food very well, so I don't get the nutrients I need. So I am lacking in a lot of vitamins. So it's also good to take a lot of vitamins, like multivitamin. Vitamin B12 is really important, vitamin D, because of my limited food options that I eat, as well as the fact that I can't absorb food correctly. And another good food is the chicken nuggets, the Purdue ones that have vegetables in them, and they taste like chicken nuggets. Those are good. And I also like their veggie burgers because I don't like the texture of hamburger, which is really weird to a lot of people. They think I'm a vegetarian or something, but I'm not. I just really don't like the texture of beef. Or I don't like cooking beef as well. So I prefer chicken because it has a more normal texture. And I don't like dark meat though because it's softer. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is, after having a meltdown, shutdown, eat your safe foods, but also be aware of nutrition if you can by taking vitamins. That's what I'm trying to say in a long-worded way. Next, we have stay hydrated, which is also another tricky thing because taking care of yourself is hard when you're feeling really overwhelmed and you just want to be alone in your hoodie and cry. Which can also be dehydrating, is the crying. So what I do is drink liquid IV, and you just put it in your water and it multiplies it. Some people prefer Drip Drop, which is another brand, but Liquid IV is personally my favorite, but they've had a few controversies because they labeled themselves as gluten-free and they weren't gluten-free, but Drip Drop is actually gluten-free. I just really like the pina colada of Liquid IV, and I really need it so I don't pass out, so don't be mad that I still use them and they're kind of controversial. I need them to stay hydrated. I'm sorry. And Gatorade is also good for staying hydrated if you don't like just plain water. But the Liquid IV, Drip Drop are really the best because it multiplies the amount of water and electrolytes you're getting. So more water. And it doesn't taste like water. My favorite flavor, pina colada. It's very good. And it doesn't taste like water. And next, wear comfy clothes. And that might seem weird as I say that, wearing jeans and like a tight shirt and then a shirt over it. But that's because I'm the type of person who likes clothes that compress them, which I'm not really sure if that's because I have Ehlers-Danlos and it compresses my joints, or if it just kind of feels like a hug, because that is also a therapy for autistic people, is deep pressure. And a lot of people who are autistic don't like hugs or touch, so clothing can be like that for them. Like this, the layering makes the clothing tight and it feels better personally for me. I also use this when I'm in like a really bad spell of like anxiety, and it's I got it off Amazon. It's by Special Supplies. It's like a storm vest almost. It's a compression vest. It kind of makes me feel self-conscious when I wear it, but I only really wear it in the house. I said again, but I caught myself. But my friend said I look like one of those tiny puppies in their storm jackets when they're having anxiety for a thunderstorm, and I have the personality of a tiny dog who thinks they could beat everything but is really small. So I think I could like beat up a giant person, and I am disabled and tiny. And I don't know where I get that attitude, but she is right in that situation. And so it made me feel a little bit better about this, is that I'm like a tiny storm dog who thinks they can fight anything except the thunderstorm. So I hope that little factoid made you feel better. And watch my comfort shows is my next one, which I like to watch things I've already seen because I know exactly what's going to happen, so I don't feel any added anxiety or stress. And I watch the same shows over and over again. I said, I watch Friends, I watch Gilmore Girls, Grey's Anatomy, Bluey, How's Moving Castle, and the old Brittany Broski podcast. She's my favorite YouTuber. I love how insane she is. I really relate to Brittany Broski on like a deep level. Her podcast where she's like screaming at no one and there's no one else in the room and she's just screaming, "Shut up!" And I'm like, that's literally how I sound when I'm doing my art. I love Brittany Broski so much, words cannot describe. So it's really helpful, and laughing is good for anxiety, and Brittany Broski always makes me laugh, so I definitely recommend watching her. And my next step is set extra timers to remind myself to pace myself, because I need to remind myself to get up, get a drink of water, walk around, so I am taking care of my joints and not decompensating. And that's a fancy word for getting worse in my illness, because I have, I have every illness because it fucking sucks, and they just like, it's like a party in my body. Postural orthostatic tachycardia, other known as POTS, is a very common one. A lot of people who are chronically ill have that, and it's important to stay exercised with that, because it's very easy to decompensate and mess up your heart rate again. So I set extra timers to remind myself to get up, go to the bathroom, walk around, get some water, take my meds. Oh, definitely set extra reminders to take your meds, because those are important, and scheduling is important. And also, being on a strict schedule and getting back to your strict schedule after having a meltdown because of change can be really helpful, because schedules help you stay calm because you know exactly what's going to happen and you know what you're planning. See, the thing with my sister is she has ADHD as well as autism, so she's like the opposite of me, where she doesn't plan anything and she's like, let's go do this, let's go do that, and I need like weeks advance notice, or else I have really bad issues, because I like to be planned and prepared and know exactly what's going to happen, where the bathrooms are, what I'm going to eat. So yeah, but I love you, Sissy. If you're watching, you're my best friend, and you know that. We both struggle in different ways, because we're both on different sides of the spectrum, but the spectrum's not linear, it's a circle. I hope you like that little diddly. Another one is noise canceling headphones. As you heard before, I have a train that goes by my house frequently, and if I'm already having sensory issues, a train is gonna, make that worse. So I have these ones, which are good, cheap, over-the-head ones from Amazon that I got first, and they also play music, which is helpful, because music is also distracting from my feelings. And then I have loop headphones, which I mainly use more when I'm out in public, and they come in this little tiny package, and they're little tiny. I'm always scared I'm gonna lose them like that. But they just go in your ears and you can't see them behind my hair. And I mainly use them for when I'm in public, though, because I can also hear when people talk to me and not hear background noise. So I really like these. And I don't wear any makeup when I'm post meltdown because I don't like the feeling of it typically. But I wear makeup a lot because I like that it makes me look good. I like that it makes my eyes pop. But the feeling of my eyelashes, like, touching my face and, like, the foundation, like, when everything else is already feeling a little bit difficult, I'll take a break. And it will help. And next, I work on my floor to do my art because sitting in a chair can be hard, especially if it's not that comfy. And I like to be surrounded by my comfort items like my Squishmallows. And I have a Squishmallow corner, and I can sit and draw and be surrounded by my comfort items, which is good. I'm just getting this out of the way so I can show you the big kahunga. Is that a word? It is now. This is my bucket of fidget toys. I feel like it's accurate to be in a Spider-Man tin. If you watch my drawing myself in 20 different styles, you'll know my big Spider-Man obsession. It's specifically into the universe, multiverse. And I just have a bunch of different fidget toys in here. I also bring it down when I have friends over. Not that I have friends over that often. Because, you know, everyone needs a little fidget. Even if you're neurotypical, it's good to have a fidget just to talk and do something with your hands. Fidgets are for everyone and not just people who are neurodivergent like me or other people watching this video. They're also for neurotypical people. They just can be a helpful listening tool. This one is actually from a Barbie toy. It's for canoeing. And you may think this one's odd. I agree it's odd. My nephew gifted me a Barbie because we watched the Barbie movie together, and he said I needed a Barbie for that. Because I love the Barbie movie, so I needed a Barbie. And I actually really ended up liking the canoe that came with it. Well, specifically the oar, because I like spinning it. And it's like longer than a pencil, and it's weighted on both ends. And I like trying to balance it while I do things, or while I'm typing or reading. So that one's a good one. This one, classic, Slug. I like the noise. This one I don't typically use when I have sensory issues because it's so loud, but I like the sound when I'm understimulated, which means there's not enough going on. But usually I have music on or something because I also get understimulated. This thing, annoying as crud, it probably shouldn't be in here because it's not really a fidget. It's just, I guess it could be a fidget. I got it at a parade. These are my favorite fidgets, but I literally can't use them without popping them. I'm a little scared using them right now. If you saw that TikTok I made where I popped my second one of these, they're my favorite, the bead ones. And I swear I'm not that strong. I don't know how I keep popping them, but they're my favorite, but I guess I gotta stop using them. And I have the regular hard fidget balls. Then a lot of people recommend Aaron's putty. I like that one better than my physical therapy putty, but they say to use the physical therapy putty more because my physical therapist is lame. So I have this one and this one. One is easy, one is hard to work on my hand strength. And I have a classic fidget spinner in here. I don't use this one as much, but I like the poppets in it. Poppets are also good. They're my second favorite after the squishy ones. And I also really like this one. My sister hates this one though because you can't pop all of the little poppet balls on them without one popping back up or two popping back up. It drives her crazy because she can't complete it. So yeah. Oh, and this one is my cinnamon roll one. I feel so bad beating him up though. He got really hairy though. I don't know. Also, did the water solidify or dry up in this? What the heck? I feel like the water's gone out of this. Maybe it's because I don't use cinnamon roll that much because I feel bad beating him up. But he looks like a little dumpling. So, yeah. that was my little fidget tour for you. I am always getting more fidgets. They're everywhere, honestly, in my purse, and I lose them all the time because I take them everywhere. So that was my video on how I cope with having a meltdown. Well, after having a meltdown or a shutdown. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some tips. I hope you learned some coping mechanisms. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, there's a large amount of you who watch my content and are not subscribed. So maybe click that subscribe button because it's completely free and you get to see my face and my art and learn about weird chronic illnesses and my life. So thank you so much for watching. And most importantly, everyone, remember, stay weird. Bye.